Oh my goodness. I am so excited to be here, and I hope you are as well. Before we get started, I am excited to share some news as far as what I have been working on lately. Sewing has been slow around here, and wow, like it really sometimes I just go in bursts and I sew a ton, and then other times I'm just really quiet. So but this is what I've been working on, and we will be talking about that in a little bit. If you are here, make sure you say hi, welcome, drop your name in, where you're from, what's happening, what are you working on. Super excited about today. At the end of the year, we always do something fun called the Plan and Review Your Quilty Year. So as people are popping in, just say hi, welcome. I'm super excited that you're here. So I see that everything is working all right. So I believe I am going to get started. Hi, Pat, Wisconsin, and Leah from BC working on stockings. Cindy from Minnesota, Laura, South Dakota, Chris from Knoxville. So excited you guys are here. Welcome. New Hampshire. So today is all about reviewing our year and planning our year. So this is big. Lori Jean from Missouri. Oh, I have a little visitor. Do you guys have visitors? Okay. No, not right now. She's my quilting companion. Who else has a quilting companion? Well, more like the inspector, right? Anything that you finish or put down on the ground, they walk off with. So that is my life around here. Cindy, Donna, Pat says I'm working on quilting a quilt. I have a quilt that needs to be quilted. I got to figure out, Chris. Yes, her name is Raya. Yes. Oh my goodness. I got to figure out how I'm going to quilt my quilt because the long arm is put away and I'm back to my standard sewing machine. So I've got to figure that one out. So I am going to be sharing my screen. Let me find my screen. Hold on just one quick minute. I got to find my screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Will you guys make sure that you see what I'm seeing? Can you let me know if you see plan and review your year? So, Penny, I know I got new glasses, Penny. I got old lady eyes. And so this is how my life goes. I've ignored my eyes forever. And so, so this is what I have. Cindy, thank you. Okay. So you see the plan and review your year. So this is what we're going to kick off today. I'm so excited. So excited. Brenda, she says she's got it. Okay. So you're in the right place if you can't remember what you finished this year, right? You aren't sure what you want to do next year. So many thoughts and so many ideas. You have papers, you have patterns, and you have pictures and like good intentions everywhere. And you don't really know what you want to learn. So here's what you'll learn by hanging out with me for a little bit today. We are going to review what you actually have accomplished, and we are going to, of course, take just a short minute to celebrate the finishes. You'll have an opportunity to take this further with my online quilt group so you can finish those goals. We'll talk about that later. We will take a minute to plan your upcoming months so you know what is actually happening. And you'll remember what you have learned and have put into practice. So Just a quick review. This is not for you if you know exactly what you've done this past year. Like you are the pro at everything. You don't have any quilty goals. You have all your projects done and you've got nothing new coming up. So this is not for you if any of those hit for you. So did you say exhausted for the year? Yes, Carol. Yes. Patty, I'm so excited you bought the planner. Okay, and Nancy, yes. So quick little introduction for myself. Welcome to the Planner Review Your Year. This is all about quilting. I am Becky of Patchwork Posse, where I share quilting tutorials and quick tips. The Patchwork Planner, which is kind of part of this series, but not required. I also have an online quilt group, which is the International Association of Quilters, which I've seen many of the members are here with us today because they get to participate in this as well. We sew together, we support each other, we explore quilt techniques, we help you become best friends with your sewing machine, because really that's what we love to do, right? We just love to sew. And thank you for taking the time today to spend a little bit of time with me. So this is kind of just an end of the year mini series. I'm going to be referring to the Patchwork Planner a little bit. You can check it out at patchworkplanner.com, as well as there is an opportunity to get it for a discounted rate. So I will share that in a little bit. It's not required for today. Many of you maybe have printed off your printables. They're inside the IAQ for free, as well as on the blog. So if you get the emails, you should have seen some information on where you can find to download those papers. Again, if you're an IQ members, you can log in, go to the members discount area to make sure you pick up the planner. So quick, who am I? Who am I? I started sewing when I was 8. I have a small little embroidery is what I started with. And then first quilt was done after my first baby was born, which is pretty much similar to a lot of quilters. We all have kind of the same starting. We had a baby, we need to make a blanket or a quilt. So I started long ago, 2007, on the blog for Patchwork Posse. Started the planner to help keep my projects organized, added the yearly calendar, and there is a pocket edition as well. So following patterns, I wasn't really super awesome at. I always added my own touch, tried something new, and played with the design. So after designing patterns, working for a few companies, Moda Bake Shop, which is no longer out there anymore, and Andover, I've explored the option of the online quilt group, which many of you guys are as well. Doreen says, yes, that's what I did after second child. Yep, same story, right? Same story. My favorite part of all of this really is watching those quilts come together with your own personal design and influence. And of course, we do some charity work inside the group as well. And I am going to be showing off some quilts from members in just a bit. So I am a quilter, and just like any other quilter I know, we start and finish more projects than we count on our hands. Many times we don't even recall or remember all of our incredible quilts and projects that we have finished. Along with that, we fill our days with machine time. We don't really give the calendar a thought. We know that we might have a class coming up or the next step in the block of the month, but we really don't know exactly when that is. So we wait to be reminded by our other quilt friends. So I'm hoping really today's planner review is really all about taking a moment, review our year, our projects, our new tips, techniques, designers that we have found, and giving us an opportunity as well to kind of like breathe, take a moment to relax and celebrate, and then looking ahead. This is a lot of fun. I love to do this at the end of the year. It really gives us a moment of pause, celebration, and planning. So in the end, really, I help quilters go from sewing alone in the same old patterns to connecting with other quilters, new techniques, patterns, and designers. So yes, I don't give the clock a thought. Yes, I love that. Today I was like, oh gosh, hi Joyce, welcome. So we are going to just jump right in. We've got a lot to cover. So we are going to work together and we're going to review your year. We're going to plan our year. We're going to make sure you have a printables. So they are in the resource library that I have on the blog, but you've also seen them on the email. Or you can find them inside the IEQ for members. So they're right there in their own download area as well. You can take it further with the patchwork planner, which, let's see. Oh, let me get you a link really quick. Kathy, welcome. So excited you are here. Welcome. Okay, I did put a link in there. You can grab the planner for a discounted rate. You should have been given this opportunity after you signed up for the email, but just in case you missed it, you can grab it there. All right, so reviewing your year. So we're going to take a moment, grab our papers and get your pencil. Let's go. So I am going to stop the screen share for just a minute because we are just going to, Nancy, welcome. Okay, year in review. So if you have these papers, great. If you do not, feel free to just grab a regular piece of paper and start working them on your own. But these are the pages that we're going to be going over. Kitty cat gives me sniffles. And so I touched her and now I touch my nose. And of course she's sleeping, but you know, that's how it goes. So this year has been a busy one. Lots of things happening, affecting our lives still. We're on kind of the, well, it's always in turmoil part. This is where we're going to be writing our thoughts, our feelings, our happenings, kind of like highlighting what has happened this past year. It's not that we're in a hurry to have this year over. It's just really to take a moment and notice and celebrate what we have done and accomplished, maybe because of this year and what's been happening. So if you don't have the planner, again, you can use the printables, or if you have your own journal, just grab Jill's papers and let's go. So we're going to reflect on the year. We're going to take a couple minutes or two. You may actually be feeling that you don't have anything. And if you're similar to me, you don't really have the best memory. And I want you to look back on your calendar. So what have you been doing this past year? Starting from the beginning, what did you participate in? For me, it was middle of the year and I had a big move and left my in-person quilt groups, my local quilt shop. So this is, you know, there was a lot of turmoil happening in the middle of the year. So please, please share them in the comments. What has been going on for you? What have you accomplished? Beginning of the year, writing down. So we've got projects this past year page. Feel free to write down any of that stuff on this page. I'm looking really quick. Yeah. If you remember that you gave a gift, make sure you write that down as well. So we've got 2 pages that we're looking at, our year in review. And this has a section about techniques I've learned. So is there something that you've picked up this year that you maybe hadn't known, or maybe that you're trying again? So like years ago, I did paper piecing. And then just this past year, I did a whole quilt on paper piecing. That's just an example. So is there something that you've picked back up, something that you're remembering, something that you tried and learned? Now, with talking about the charity quilts or donations, there's a section on here and it says, I gave. Now, I want you guys to grab your phones for a quick minute because this holds everything, does it not? Everything. So when I go in here and I look at my pictures for the whole year, starting in January, So I want you to grab this. Start with your photos in January. You can also look at your calendar in January. Was there any classes that you took? Was there anything that you learned? Joni, welcome. Couldn't find what people were saying hi. I'm so glad you're here. Chris is ready to do some traveling, getting used to the husband being home. Yes, big things. Cindy said, have a family sewing retreat in September. I finished 2 quilt tops in 3 days. That's incredible, Cindy. Woo-hoo. Yes. So use your phones if you need to. And I know we're not going to get through the whole year during this time, but this just helps you kind of get started. So if you start off with your calendar, you can move through and see, was there any classes I took January, February, March? Was there anything I accomplished during those times? Are there any pictures? Because I snap pictures and I totally forget about it. And I'm like, I don't even know that I really did anything. And then come to find out in the picture album area, I maybe have done 4 quilts. If you're anything like me, I have no idea. I constantly forget. So more on this page is we've got designers I found. So who did you explore this year? Who did you find that was incredible, super inspiring? And then books and magazines. So things that really have inspired you. I picked up a book, I believe it was on the modern improv by Sherilyn Wood, I believe. So what have you been picking up? Who have you been following that you're super inspired by or just love? Oh, Cindy says the speakers at the IAQ retreat were great. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had Heidi come and do hand yoga, and we had Sarah come and show us how to sew a mini pouch. So yeah. So what have you been doing? Who have you found? What techniques have you learned? Or just remembered again, you know? Any books and magazines? And do not forget, what have you given? Patty is asking, will this video be available later? Yes. And I'll be shooting out emails as well, Patty. So if you're on the email list, then you'll get it. If not, make sure you are. But yeah, this will be in the Facebook group as well as on the page. So it's streaming into both of there. Yeah, totally welcome. Kathy says, love the hand yoga. It was fabulous, wasn't it? Chris says she's been exploring quilt blocks along with chair yoga. Oh, yes. That sounds delightful. The gray printing on your paper. Yeah, I know it's super light, but if you have the papers, I'm just showing, I guess I don't need to show them because it's not showing up. Cindy said edited Sitar's tutorials. Yes. I love her stuff. Laundry basket, right? My mom adores her stuff as well, but yes. The next page over are projects this year. Sorry, this past year. So I know this is super light and you have a hard time, but this is just list form because I know when we hit our phone, we are going to find a lot of projects on here, a lot. So this is where you keep track of them, is on your projects this past year list. So what kind of projects have you completed? And we're just moving throughout the year. So starting in January, just really reflect and write down what you have actually been doing. Sewing. You will notice how incredible you are. Seriously, incredible. Yeah, what are you finding that's surprising for you? Make note of anything you have. Even if they're not necessarily finished, you can highlight those and say, this is when I've started it. So feel free to write down any of those projects, started or finished. No matter if you are still donating masks, you're doing charity quilts, new techniques, finishing old projects. So it has been an incredible year for IAQ members and those who've joined me throughout the year with our Orphan Project Challenge, because that gives us an opportunity to look on what we've started 10 years ago, what isn't finished, and getting re-excited about all of those. Maybe your notes mentioning you're recovering from illness. Maybe you're making a quilt while healing, or spending time on something for someone else. I mean, all of that is so incredible. Each of us have something in the notes section that will give us pause, because we really don't take the time to notice this. I know one of the IAQ members, Kathy, has been working on a quilt for someone who passed away. So many of us do these kind of things for others. So just take a minute, enjoy reflecting, whatever it is. Have you recovered? What kept you going? Maybe sewing is part of the healing, whatever it is. And then, of course, we can take a look at our finishes. So it's really about looking back and seeing what we've started, what we've accomplished, done for others, where we've stepped in, how sewing has healed ourselves, but then taking a moment to look at what we have finished. So inside the planner, there is a finishes page. So if you have access to that, that is really where you're going to, it gives you an opportunity to really see what you have done for the year. But feel free to use your other pages as well. So what have you finished? And what have you actually accomplished during this year? The kitty cat is back. Oh my goodness. Yes. Penny says, I finished 5 tops for all the kids. 1 totally finished, bound, labeled, and presented. 2 more to bind and label. 2 more to pick up at the Quilters. All ready for Christmas. You are on it. Yes. Cindy says, my cabin quilt. I'm so excited to see that, Cindy. Masks, teddy bears, gnome quilt kits, tumbling block quilt started. Ugh, the last one. Hey, we always have Uggs. It's okay. Yeah, raise your hand if you have an Ugg quilt. Oh yeah, I got a few of those. So you are totally not alone. Kathy says, this year I focused the majority of my time on the Guild's Community Service Committee. This coming year, I want to get some of my own projects. Yeah, and we do that. We do that a lot, don't we? We tend to dive in and take care of other people, but sometimes we do need to relax and allow ourselves to enjoy our own projects. Johnny says, I have 5 tops to quilt, 1 old one. Ooh, I'm excited. 4 tops done this year. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I finished 2 old tops. They're completely done. IEQ fellowship with other quilters has been such a blessing for me. I'm so glad you're there, because you really do make it better. Lisa says, first craft show this last weekend. Awesome. Love it. Yeah. Penny's got a big long list. Finished a quilt, her hubby's guitar quilt, which actually is fabulous. If those haven't seen that. 6 charity quilts. Finished the mini quilts for swap, zipper bag swap, staying pretty close up to date with the IAQ. The quilt along, which is our homestead, and learning EQ8. Yes, incredible. That's an incredible list. Pat says, quilts for 2 of my nieces for their high school graduations, working on Kimberbell bench pillows. Those are adorable. Yeah. Yeah, so what is on your finished list? What is on your, I'm going to get my paper out from underneath her. So now that we have those pages all put in, we have a minute to take time to celebrate. So it's crazy when we take the time at the end of the year to review our calendar, to review our photos on our phone, to review our major happenings in our life and write a few notes down. Look at what we have done. Like, are you amazed at yourself? It is amazing. So there is, right when we're finishing up the review time, Let's see. So yeah, let's hear your stories, your finishes, all that you've done, no matter if it's small or you think it's insignificant. So I'm going to, there is notes. There's this new page that I added on. And it's kind of like, you know, those old, it's not old, we still do it. Pages like All About Me, where you answer quick questions about yourself. So that's really what this one is all about. And I thought it would be kind of fun to review what I am looking at something. Hold on just 1 minute. Okay. I got to find something here. La, la, la. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so here's our quick questions. So, and I'm going to go over them really quick because even if you don't have this page, feel free to write them out. So the sewing machine I use, I know a lot of us have many, so we can write down more than one if you want. Favorite fabric line, my favorite pattern, a favorite designer, and this is kind of just like reviewing this past year. Who have I really totally been all in on? My sewing buddy. Do I have a sewing buddy? I've taught who how to sew. So have you shared your knowledge of quilting and sewing with another person? This question gives you an opportunity to write down whether it's one person, maybe it's not anybody, and that's part of your goal for next year. That's fine too. What is your sewing superpower and your least favorite thing to do? These are awesome questions. Why I quilt. So that one's a big one, you know. Who my quilt hero is. Kathy, welcome. So glad you're here. We're looking at the notes, the question page. Best quilting tip from this past year. So have you found something that's been like, man, that's made a big difference in everything that I do? You need to write it here so you can remember it later. Best thing I learned this year. My favorite time to sew. I know many of us are like early morning sewers, or maybe we're a late owl, night owls, quilter. Your favorite step of quilting. So maybe it's binding, maybe it's piecing, maybe it's cutting, maybe it's prepping, maybe it's the sewing part. What is your favorite sewing snack? Of course. Lately, mine has been smoked almonds. And what I'm super excited about right now, and I'm currently sewing what? So this is all on that one page that has all of the questions. But this one's a lot of fun because it just gives us a quick little snippet of what we have really enjoyed and who we are this past year. And I know we do that, you know, with kids in the school and a little bit of like all about me when we introduce ourselves. But I thought, man, that would be kind of fun to review this past year and what kind of mood we're in. Maybe our favorite fabric this year is what do you call it? Civil War. And that is totally not anything I would have picked out to myself, you know, last year. So, so it's a lot of fun to just answer those questions, see where you come up. You're going to have to share them in the Facebook group because I would love to hear those answers. So let's see. Oh, Joni says, love the cabin in the star quilt. Yes, I'm going to make more of them. They actually turned out so pretty. I have some, I believe, in the slideshow later on. My son and his wife fell in love with it. Guess what they're getting for Christmas? You can do it. You can do it, Joni. I love it. Yes. All right. So planning your year. So now we've kind of taken the overview. We've looked at everything that we have accomplished this year. We've taken a moment to celebrate what we have done, appreciating all the work, time, effort, energy that we have put into this. Now I got to grab my papers from my kitty cat here. So now we are into planning your year. So let's get started. So we're going to flip it open into important dates. If you have the planner, maybe there's been a few things like cancellations of your classrooms. I know we're still kind of adjusting to the virtual and online. I know some things have been put into person, but then later on canceled. So this is really going to give you an opportunity to have an overview of the full year from January to December. So I'm going to grab my paper really quick. And this one is projects by month. So we've got dates down one side, we've got months, and then we've got dates and then our months. And so we have all 12 months listed out on here. I know there's only like 3 spots for each month, but that should be enough space. You can write really tiny if you need to, if you have more than 3. But what is coming up this year? So for example, in September is National Sewing Month. And maybe you want to make note of that. Maybe you have a retreat. I've got a retreat coming up in June, I believe. Cannot wait because this last year was canceled. So, so what have you got coming up? Let's mark it down on our calendars. So we're looking at our calendar page. We are marking down, is there a class you're taking? What is it? Let's hear what is on your calendar that's coming up that you're super excited about. So mine is June. I've got a retreat coming. Also, there is, so if you guys have any comments about what you've got coming up that you're excited about, let me know what it is. We also have our year at a glance. This page is very similar to year in review. So this gives you an opportunity to write down techniques you would like to learn this year. Kitty cat, kitty cat. Oh my goodness. When you're trying to do things and your cat comes to play, right? That's how it is. So techniques you want to learn. Again, it's just like everything else are on that other paper when we reviewed it. But we are looking ahead. So what's on your calendar? But then what techniques are you interested on learning? What projects are you going to be making? You're just kind of tossing this out there. Designers you would like to check out. So maybe you found somebody recently, but you really want to dive into more next year. So really write that down. Who are you going to be really taking a look at? Are there any books and magazines that you're super interested in? I just got an email the other day from my local library, and it let me know that I can get access to digital magazines. I have not looked yet as to whether the quilting ones, because the library does get some quilting ones. So just a short note on that. Maybe you guys need to check your emails or ask your local library about digital offerings. So super excited about that. Maybe you want to learn English paper piecing, hand quilting, applique. Some of those techniques are inside the IAQ. On the page, you're going to find a spot to write down your projects you're planning to make. So what do you have? It can be your block of the months, any kind of project related to a class or a group or whatever. Maybe something you're just sewing by yourself. Not a big deal. Of course, we have our designers that we want to check out, books. Maybe these could be on your Christmas list or even ones that you have already have, but haven't even ever taken a look at them. So let's hear it. What is on your list? And of course, we've got a big empty box here. This is for like extra notes, some thoughts, some ideas, maybe websites, resources, whatever. So Kathy says, oh yeah, excited for the block of the month. Yes. Chris says, starting a placemat group for Meals on Wheels retreat in January. Chris, That's brilliant. I love that idea. Yes. Joy says, I'm excited about the red and white quilt block of the month. I know. See, you can see some of it on the screen just a little bit. I'm going to be showing that in just a little bit. Yeah, Kathy says, I want to just continue with the orphans. Your orphan projects, I'm assuming. So yes, that's beautiful as well. So that is our review and our plan. We didn't take a minute, but I'm going to do it right now. One of the pages is projects this year. So I know on the one page it had a really small section, but this gives you plenty of opportunity to write in everything. Just like get it out of your head, put it on the piece of paper. What are you really thinking about working on this year? This is not going to have to be finished. But this just kind of like when you get bored, when you're lost, you don't really know what project to work on. This is a page that you can quickly review, kind of highlight. Oh my gosh, that's right. I wanted to do this. Grab your thingy and go. So it really, really doesn't have to be a finished list. And we're going to talk about how you can continue working on those lists. Pat says, yeah, I want to finish block of the month quilts that I've started. Pat, that's on everybody's list. Everybody's list. Mine too, Pat. Yeah. And Joni says pillowcases for in-person quilt guild charity. I love that. Yeah. So what have you got going on? So now it's like, phew, what did you find out about yourself? What were you surprised that you finished? Were you actually surprised at how much you have gotten done? Because a lot of times we sit back and we think so not highly of ourselves. I haven't done very much. I really should do more. I can't believe I didn't finish this. Look at my pile of unfinished projects. Look at my pile of projects that I would like to do. But when we take a minute and review what we have, we actually surprise ourselves at how much we have accomplished. So who is surprised at what they've accomplished? Yeah. I am. I'm constantly surprised because I really think, man, it's been forever since I've sewn. I don't even know what I'm doing. But then when I scroll through my images, I find that I have done enough. I have done enough, and I have done quite a bit. Kathy says I was. Yeah, it really is surprising because we never take the time to really write down what we have done and what we've accomplished. This is such a good exercise to do any time of the year, but at the end it's best, especially with the 90 sews, which we're going to be talking about, giving ourselves an opportunity to kind of review this every 90 days or so. Yeah, Carol says, yes, my thoughts have not been nice to myself this last month. I threw everything in a spare room and shut the doors, ready to give up on quilting. I have been overwhelmed. Carol, I totally understand. Yesterday, or I've been sewing this red and white quilt for the last, little bit. And I don't have my room set up. So because of that, I walk in and I'm like, nothing is where it's supposed to be. It's a mess. I'm in an attic room, so I have to kind of duck when I iron. I've got to figure out things, and I've been super frustrated with it. So I totally hear you on that. One thing, Carol, is having the IAQ. So that's the Quilt Group. If you're not in there, you totally should be, because we talk about a lot of this stuff and we help each other. Yeah. Yes. Surprise. Yeah. Leah says, I know this year was nearly zero sewing. Did a kilt rebuilt and velvet jacket. Look at that. Like, you made a velvet jacket. Like, to me, in my head, that's more than a quilt. So that's so much work. I'm not a super awesome apparel sewer. I do a little bit, but not a ton. So really, no matter what it is, it's amazing what we don't allow ourselves to think that that's worth anything. Cindy says, I was surprised at how much I started. Yes, Cindy, we always are. Still working on the finishing part. I love that. Yes. And Joni says, I want to get quilts quilted using my own machine and have no more than one waiting to be done. That's incredible. That's a super large accomplishment. When I went over my finishes this year, I showed them to my husband. He agreed that the IQ was so worth the money. Seriously, finishing things is hard, and doing it by yourself is even harder. So yeah, we save you money by helping you finish. That is for sure. For 100% sure. Whoops. So let's see. So who has your big list? Let's see. What's your big list of good intentions and super awesome projects? Yep. We have them already, don't we? So what's on your list for next year? I don't want to leave you stranded with your list. I don't want you to fall off the quilt wagon in a month or two because you're stuck, lost, and unmotivated. There's something coming up that I want to tell you about, which will make that list of awesome projects get complete, or closer to the completion, actually. Help you keep track 90 days at a time with support, inspiration, help when you need it, and a little bit of friendship. So I'd like to tell you about the 90 sews. I'm super excited about this. This is how you can continue sewing along with me and others that you've heard kind of chiming in the chat so far with support. We take a quarterly dive into what our projects are, what we'd like to do, learn, and give, of course, because quilters are givers. We can always do this alone, sure, but having other quilters like Joni has mentioned surrounding you and working together is, of course, better and funner. Whether that's a word or not, I don't know, but we're going to use it. So 90 Sews gives you the structure, the support, and of course, we have a little party at the end. So we're going to celebrate what we have accomplished, not just at the end of the year. We're taking moments during the year to do this. It's basically 90 Sews is 90 days that you have an opportunity to sew. So we have a forum inside the 90 Sews program. You can ask questions, share your wins, get your help if you need, inspiration, suggestions, encouragement. There's no rules in here, and we have no quilt police. So whatever we talk about in there stays in there. We don't just say, download this and you're on your own. We have the forum, we have the gallery. You can share your progress. And of course, we have our monthly meetups, which I cannot speak higher of. This is where we get to meet each other face to face. We use Zoom so we can see everybody. We see your quilting room. We see your living room. We see your bedroom. Whatever you want to share with us. No matter what your location is, we, of course, invite you to join us and chat all things quilty. Everything is there to support you and help you get sewing. So, Carol, you were talking about the overwhelm the other in your comment, and this is really what this is all about. So where do you find the 90 Sews? It's inside the IAQ. And we just kind of have been testing this out for the last couple months. And we've got a new year coming with new plans. So quick background on what is the IAQ, because I keep talking about it, but you're not really sure. It's the International Association of Quilters. This is my personal online quilt group. So it's the quilting community your grandma always talked about. It's where we build connection, friendship, and of course, quilts one block at a time. We have year-long block of the months. We have sewing days. We have 2 monthly Zoom meetups. And we have quilting bees, guest designers, and of course, our 90 Sews. It's not to overwhelm you by any means. It's to give you variety, choice, inspiration, and fun. So maybe you've noticed along the way today that the Dutch Garden is been in there, the red and white quilt. Kathy's been talking about it. It is the 2022 block of the month for the IAQ. I do not have my buttons on this yet, and it is not quilted. So please, please forgive me. But I'm super excited that it's finished, hanging up in my back shed and looking all fun and dandy. So to give you a little background on it, it's 72 by 72. It is a 12-month block of the month. Okay, so it's medallion style, as you can see, starting off with the center block, sewing multiple blocks per month, and many of them are repeat, so which is very helpful. Penny says it looks marvelous. Thank you, Penny. I'm so excited about it. So I wanted to drop in the note or the link really quick. So if anybody is interested in joining, I really encourage you to join us. The center block is applique. We're going to show you a few different ways: needle turn, regular zigzag, or raw edge, which I chose raw edge. I'm super quick, super fast, super speedy, and I don't like to wait. So this is what it is. There is also, you can choose to do 2 different colors, or you can choose to do scrappy. So 2 fabrics or 2 colors. If you notice mine on the close-up here, it's kind of, there's one that has, it's a true white background, and the other is a little tannish background. I just mixed and mingled them. In this outer border, I did, I used some that had pink. So it's not a true red and white, but this is what I used, and I love it. Sewing starts in February. So you have plenty of time to pick out your fabrics, to get settled on the idea and the process of the IAQ, to meet up with us, get a handle on how we work, how we do, have fun, and everything else inside. So this is part of the IQ, which also includes the 90 sews. So how do you continue working on these projects? You keep your organized calendar, you keep finishing those projects, and you are not alone, but with other quilters. So the first thing is to join the IAQ, which I dropped a link into the comments. I want you to go there, and I want you to join. The second one is please come to our party on December 16th for 90 sews. Whether you are a new member or an old member, or you're not even doing the 90 sews, we don't really care. We just love to get together. We're going to have a little party. We're going to talk about what we finished. We're going to talk about how we're stuck. We're going to talk about moving our projects forward. We're also going to be planning. So there's individual papers inside the IQ that you have access to for no additional charge. It'll help you walk through the calendar, set things up, and get you on your way. But December 16th is our 90 sews party. So again, I mentioned this, step 3, print off your 90 sews pages. So bring those papers with you. Again, there's no additional cost. They're right there in the group, easy to find. If you don't want to use them, there is no quilt police. We do not care. We just want to see your face. So print them off and use them if you'd like. If you have another system that you love to use, then by all means, please use that. Then, of course, step 4 is check your calendar. Well, check our calendar. So this is a quick look at what we have in December for IAQ members. There is more stuff coming into January, but everything is available for members at no additional cost. Once you join, you have access to everything. We love that because you have enough fabric, you have enough patterns. We give you the place that allows you to sew together with others and meet us in our Zoom rooms. So the 4 steps to help you complete your goals and have some quilting fun. So as we review your papers over here, and you've got this big long list and you're thinking, man, I really would like to have some fun sewing with other people's. This is what you're going to do. You're going to join the IAQ. You're going to come to our 90 sews party. You're going to print off your pages if you need to help you start the next round. And you're going to check our calendar so you can participate more with us. So you ready to continue filling in that calendar with fun quilty activities? Maybe you're frustrated there isn't a local quilt group. That's me. I don't have anything nearby anymore. They're all gone. All I have is virtual. It could be that you're stuck. You're not inspired to sew much lately. Maybe you've heard all the buzz because there's been a couple comments in here, excitement, how others are planning and having fun inside the IEQ. You want to see how you can participate. Maybe you just want to hang out with me. I tease a little bit, but we have a lot of fun whenever you pop in. So this is our goal, to help you make 2022 an incredible year of quilting, friendship, and finishing. So you have a choice. This is your choice: to continue buying fabric you don't need, to fill up your sewing table with unfinished projects, to sew lonely and by yourself. Or I'm inviting you to finish what you start, meet other quilters just like you, feel supported, inspired, excited about what you're sewing, and set and accomplish your quilty goals for the next 90 sews. So this is the Cabin Under the Stars, which Joni was mentioning earlier. Yeah, hang with me if I can't. 90 sews in the IEQ is what will keep you sewing. The list won't get done by itself. So let's take a look at what we've done today. And here is the kitty cat underneath, of course, the quilt. You've reviewed your year, surprised, of course, about how many things you have actually learned and accomplished and completed. You've planned out the next year. You know, you've got your pages, you've got your months laid out, what's coming up. You have big intentions, great ideas, of course. It's time to join us for the next round of 90 sews and the IAQ for 2022. Right now. Yeah, like right now. I have some highlights from our members I'm super excited to share. So this is just like the other one. Where did it go? Bloop, 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 bloop. Hold on just 1 minute. Let me find my page, because here it is. Yeah, so this one is the Cabin Under the Stars. And that is the quilt that we just finished up at our last quilting bee. And this is what some members have made using that. And then Joni said hers fell in love with hers, and so she's going to be making more. But this pattern, all the patterns are available immediately when you join. We've got some past projects. We did charity quilts one year, a trip around the world, and on the left there is some progress on the Homestead Block of the Month. So without the connection support, you're going to struggle to finish that quilt and those projects. You'll continue to get distracted by other projects. You'll feel lost in your sewing room, lose your motivation, and keep collecting fabric and patterns that never end up completed. The IQ really does give you permission, purpose, and the resources to sew every day. And this is, I believe, Penny, this one's yours. So participating in a quilt group just got so easy. If anybody has any questions, please ask them. Let me see if I had anything else. Yeah, so I've got my quilt right here, which I already shared, and the sun is just like blaring at me. But I'm super excited about this. Red and white, you can have two colors, you can have scrappy, you can do whatever you want. We really don't have, oh, it's Carol's. Yes, thank you, Penny. That was Carol's block of the month, the Homestead. Appreciate that. Oh, I'm just looking at the comments. Sorry. Oh, block of the month with that looking the good in the blue. Okay, I do have to confess, I am a blue person. And I really wanted to make a red and white quilt, but I'm super tempted to make this again in a blue because yes, oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, adorable. It would be so pretty in the blue and white. I'm going to see if I can find, hold on just 1 minute and let me see, copy image. I'm going to see if I can share, because I have someone, I had some pattern testers, and so they were able, one of them, Laura, finished hers. Let me see. Hold on just 1 minute. I want to add this so you guys can see it because she did a purple edition version and it is beautiful. So hold on just 1 minute. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm dropping it in here. And then I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see. Okay, here is the purple one. Oh my gosh. So she chose kind of a colored background, not a solid. And then, oh, you can see, I can see her echo quilting around it. It looks beautiful. So really, the sky is the limit on this one. And she truly did 2 fabrics. So she had her background plus her one, whereas mine was a mix. And so we're going to talk about, when the materials list goes up, there's going to be a video on the fabrics that you need, how much you need, and choices of fabric. So Cindy, you're worried about your cabin didn't look that scrappy. It's fine. It's really fine. We always worry about that kind of stuff, but it's beautiful. It turned out beautiful. So, ooh, Cindy says, try with a laundry basket, super blue stash. Yeah. Yes, the purple one does look good, but I'm the same way. I lean towards those blues. Yes. Penny says blues and soft grays. Yeah. Yeah, it would be perfect. Hang out with Becky and her cat. I know. Yes. So is there any questions about the quilt group? Does anybody have any questions? We meet twice per month. The block of the month you just saw. It starts February for sewing. So you have 2 full months to grab the fabric that you want and have a variety of whatever. We have our 90 sews coming up that I'm super excited about. So that's an additional meetup that we have. And if anybody, I dropped the link in there. So anybody interested is more than welcome to join us. Doreen says, I lean towards blues, but I love the reds. Maybe black and gray and white. Okay, Doreen, Judy did the homestead in black, gray, and white, and then popped a red in there occasionally, and it is fabulous. I should have grabbed that picture too, because it was beautiful. But yeah, I think really anything with fabric is good. It always turns out beautiful. We worry about it so much, but yeah. Haven't seen my cabin quilt, but I bet it's beautiful. Yeah, Joyce, I just showed it earlier. Laura says, will there be a planner setup instructions for the new planner? Inside, when you purchase it, there should have been a video on how it works. I'm going to have to look, Laura, but I think there should be because it is a totally new layout. I didn't do a printed version this year. I'm considering it, so it's just something I'm working on the back end. So at this moment, it's like all PDFs. You can choose what you print and how you put it together. So you can use a disc bind or 3-ring binder. Yeah. So that is what I had planned today as far as our plan and review your quilty year. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to take a minute to look back and see what everything you have accomplished. Make sure you fill out those pages. Again, let's see. Plan and review is where you can find them. So I'm going to drop a note here. Love the one with passwords. Thought of that myself. Seriously. I need that one too. Yeah, I use it all the time. Because I don't remember. And then it's like, it's this one. No, it's this one. No, it's this one. You know, so whatever. But if you don't have these papers, I dropped the link in so you can grab them. They are just on the blog for free to download. It'll help you. You can use those pages and rewatch the video walking you through how to write those all out. And then we've got the IAQ that I would love for you to join when you are available. If you sign up for the yearly, you get 2 months for free. So super good deal on that. And it's actually like less than the cost of quilting one quilt. And if your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, just like Joni said, it saves you so much money. You get to work on what you already have, use the fabric you already have. So we just give you the community of where you can sew. It is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We have incredibly talented members as well. All right, I don't see any new comments. Kathy's talking about the cabin under the stars, I think. So yeah, excited to see how that turns out. All right, that is it for me today. I am thankful that you guys took a moment, or it's actually an hour, to join me. I hope you take a minute to review your year, celebrate what you have finished, and really appreciate all the work that you put in learning quilting and sharing quilting and to finish your quilts. If you are able to, I would love for you to join me inside the IAQ, where we will continue all of this with the 90 Sews program that we have in there, as well as everything else that's included inside the IAQ once you join. Immediate access, just watch those calendars that gave you the steps of, figuring out what is next for you inside once you join. Yes, Penny, love the IAQ. So much fun. Cindy, you're so welcome. And yes, Kathy, we will see everybody soon. I so appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. And I'm excited. If you are an IAQ member, snap a picture and drop your pictures inside the group. Let's see your pages, or talk about the projects that you've worked on or finished, completed. So super excited about that. Bye, Cindy. Thank you so much for coming. You are welcome, Nancy. Glad you came and joined us. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon.